here today. I'm Dennis Burkhart, Board President, and welcome to you online viewers. I'm going to have Maribel come up and light the Christ candle, and while she does that, we can say our mission statement, which is to live, love, and uplift lives.
We are a spiritual community.
We are a spiritual community that lives, loves, and uplifts lives. You sit in the stands so long enough that you just kind of... So, I didn't hike Tubbs Hill today like James does before service. Probably should have. But instead I sent my wife to Vegas for work. So, if you're willing and able to take a couple minutes to stand up and meet and greet somebody new and an old friend, when the music stops, last one seated gets introduced. So, take a couple minutes and meet and greet someone.
One more time. Growing love, we're forever growing love. It's a seed that we can sow. If our caring, it will grow. We are family, we are friends, and the feeling never ends. Together we're forever growing love.
I'm back. Oh, there's the last one that didn't sit. Relegated to the back row. It's okay, Nancy, you're forgiven. So I'm your celebration assistant today. If it's your first time visiting with us, there's an information sheet located in the chair back in front of you. If not, one of our greeters will bring one around. Any visitors for the first time today?
Well, technically it's my second.
Okay. If this is your first time joining us online, we truly appreciate you spending your time with us today. To let us know you're here, simply connect with us. Simply click the Connect with Us link. You can find it in the Synopsis tab of the website streaming window. If you're watching through YouTube or Facebook, the link is available on the menu in our website. It's time to introduce our musicians. Julie Croteau, Leanne Earlyn Moore on piano. Yay! And Jim Turner on bass. I'd like to thank everyone else who makes this Sunday service possible. We appreciate all of you. Today we'd like to honor the office staff. Pat Bentley, Lisa Clark, Donna Hodge, Sienna Mulvaney, and Geraldine Whitaker. If you're here, please stand and be acknowledged. It takes a lot of volunteers to run a center this size with this much acreage. So thank you for all your hard work. At Unity, we believe in the power of prayer. If you have a prayer request, please fill out a prayer request form and put it in one of our prayer vessels located in the hallway. We will pray over them for a week and then send them off to Silent Unity to be prayed over for a month. And finally, we also have prayer chaplains available. Our chaplains offer a calm, non-judgmental, and confidential presence to confide in during times of need. Will our prayer chaplains for today please stand? Maribel and Blossom. They'll be available in the nursery and in the meditation room after service. Our bulletin includes an event schedule along with descriptions of the various groups and activities going on here at Unity. These events and groups are an excellent way to connect with others and foster stronger community relationships. I'd like to call your attention to a few. It's only a page and a half today. Our next summer gathering theme is Summer Sounds and Sizzle. Join us for a vibrant evening featuring a live concert by the Pollinators and a community potluck. Hopefully they don't attract any bees. Bring your favorite summer dish, serving utensils, and something comfortable to sit on, and enjoy an uplifting night of music, connection, and celebration. A $10 love offering is requested to help offset the cost of the music. So the food's going to be put in the social hall, and you'll have your choice or decision to eat inside or outside. Our Gathering of the Water ceremony is a cherished tradition celebrating deep connection we all share through water. This ritual invites you to bring samples from the streams, rivers, lakes, or oceans you've encountered throughout the summer. These water samples will be used as part of our sacred ceremony at the end of summer. If you missed Judith Pinkerton's Sacred Connection Healing Encounters this spring, she will be holding another one in the fall. So save the date, September 27th. The full details of registration are available on our website. The Spiritual Evolution Group serves a forum for sharing daily triumphs and challenges. It's facilitated by Roger Steinmetz. We are looking for someone with artistic skills to refresh the sign at the 15th Street entrance to our parking lot. Contact Audrey Seymour or Margaret Walmer. Ladies, raise your hand so they can know if you can help. It needs a little work. The tech team is seeking volunteers to assist with Sunday streaming. If you have an interest in serving in this role, please contact Jim or Joe. Training is provided. And we have a student already back there. Thanks, Todd. And finally, our youth program has been selling Sundays for charity throughout the month of July. So far, they've raised $300, which they plan to give to Safety Net Inland Northwest to support young adults transitioning out of foster systems. If you wish to support this fundraiser, buy a Sunday today. Buy two and donate one to a friend.
So today's prayer offering. Cracks of light. The human soul is to God. The human soul is to God is as a flower to the sun. It opens at its approach and shuts when it withdraws. This is from Benjamin Witchcott, and then Mark Nepo follows. God, like the sun, emanates on all. On the hill, exposed in the open, on plant growing in the window, even on a weed getting cracks of light under the porch. The same source of spirit emanates on all different lives, and regardless of our circumstance. Thus, our experience and perception of God in the world may be limited and different, may even change, but does not define or limit the source. And though the sun appears to disappear each day, it is the earth that turns away, causing night. Otherwise, when it appears, God is nowhere to be found. It is we, in the turmoil of our lives, who turn away or are returned away back again and again. But unlike the weeds that grow under the porch, we can move back into the light. So seek the light. Namaste.
So as you may know, we have a guest speaker today. We have Jeff Tawny as our guest speaker. In 2018, Jeff Tawny chose Spokane as his new home, eager to be close to his son and family. Fast forward to August 2024, and Jeff is now a spiritual leader at Unity Center of North Spokane. Before that, he was a valued member of Unity Spiritual Center Spokane, also known as Unity South Hill, where he served on the Board of Trustees, shared Sunday talks, and supported the youth ministry and acting platform assistant. It was at Unity South Hill that he truly felt a calling to the ministry. When Jeff isn't spending quality time with 2 children and 7 grandchildren, you'll likely find him at the local coffee shops, engaging in conversation with new people. I wonder if that's where he met James.
First time.
And soaking up the stories. Jeff and his partner Julie love outdoor adventures like biking, hiking, kayaking, camping, cross-country skiing in the winter. They're also big fans of the local group, the MAC. What's
The MAC, the MAC Center. Museum. The museum downtown.
okay?
And cheese.
You know, MAC. And they've become enthusiastic season ticket holders for the Ladies Ags basketball team. Please give a warm welcome to Jeff Tawny.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Wow, that light is bright. I'm going to stand over here a little bit. Well, so many of you may not know this. I just found this out this morning, but anytime the board president stands up in front of a church and says, the minister isn't here today and I'm the board president, it usually is followed by some troubling news. But there's no troubling news. This has been planned. James and I have been meeting for probably the last 6 months, once a month, having coffee and lunch and sharing our backgrounds. We have a very similar background. And so today, this morning, is it okay if I say this? I guess it's okay now. Okay. So he became a grandfather today, again. So He didn't call out sick, as far as I know. He hasn't called out sick at North, but after he speaks there, he's going to be going to Seattle. So, anyways, I didn't know this. We spent Friday together. I don't know if he said anything, but William Paul Young was in town. He's the author of The Shack, and we had an afternoon with him on Friday, and then yesterday there was a showing of the movie at Gonzaga, and then he spoke after that as well. I am going through a lot of downloads right now. I'm overwhelmed with all the information and all the theology and all that sort of thing. So one thing you need to know about me is I'm a recovering evangelical, okay? Now, if you would have known me 10 or 15 years ago, you probably wouldn't, most of you would have probably loved me, and some of you, a lot of you would not have liked me. I was a Fox News, Rush Limbaugh, Sean Hannity, ultra-liberal or ultra-conservative. If you didn't know what the color was, I told you. And anyways, long story short, I transitioned away from that. And I say transitioned because it was a slow process. And I won't get into like my background and my history with Christianity and that sort of thing. I shared some of that with Paul Friday, and some of the trauma that I incurred as a result of that. And nothing wrong with it. It's just very well-intentioned people that don't necessarily know. And what I have found in my 2 days with Paul and others, I was sharing with Julie this morning, really what it boils down to is this, is there is a God. There is a power. It has many languages. It has many colors. It has many ways of expressing itself. And all of us gravitate to the color of the language that is relevant for us, right? If you love purple, you're going to gravitate to the purple. And if you love red, you're going to gravitate to the red. It's all very well intentioned, but the bottom line is that we recognize that we're all connected and we're all one. And I say this in the spirit of my talk. This talk I'm giving you is basically 3 talks condensed into one. And one of the things that my community knows about me is that I usually have about 30 to 40 pages of notes to put a 20-minute talk together. So I'm going to be talking fast through the course of this and that sort of thing. But what I wanted to do was, and for those of you, I'm just going to say this. I'm going to tippy-toe on the red and the blue. Actually, I'm going to dive right into the red and blue, but I'm going to tippy-toe a little bit on our political situation. Now, I'm not going to get into politics. I'm not going to tell people, to me, when you get into politics, it's where we're telling you how to vote, we're telling you how to look at a particular issue, that sort of thing. That's not what I'm here to do. What I'm here is to help us understand that in the nature of, oh yeah, it's in my pocket here. Yeah, thought it was. That in the nature of our country, and we are celebrating, of course, this month, we've been celebrating 250 years of the birth of our nation. And this country, our country, has done some amazing achievements. When you look at technology, when you look at manufacturing, when you look at social, there's been some amazing things that have happened. But there's also been some very tragic things. I was shocked 5 years ago when I first heard of what happened. I'm getting so bad, forgive me. Oh, I'll move on because it's not coming to my mind right now. But there was an incident that happened back many years ago. Tulsa, the Tulsa riots. I didn't know about that. I'm 68 years old and learned it at 60, right? It's like, how do I go through my whole life and not know about what happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma? It's tragic. I think as we were listening to William Paul and we're talking about what helps us turn from our addiction and from our depravity. And you usually have to come to a point where you recognize that you've wronged, that you've been making mistakes, and you need to make a change in your life. So when you do that, acknowledging the problems and the things that you've done is not a bad thing, it's a good thing. Because it's that bad thing that creates the crack that allows the light to come in and allows us to step into that for healing. And so when you talk about, when we talk about the beautiful things that have happened in our country, we also have to remember that there have been some tragic things too that have happened. And that isn't bad. It just means that's who we are and who we've become, right? So with that, I'm going to go to my first slide here, and that is that obviously we're celebrating America. If you remove the growing pains of America, would we really recognize who we are? And the answer to that is probably not. So this is our, see here, did it get out of order? That's okay. So I was reflecting one day, and I was thinking about the flag. And I was thinking that we have this flag that's red, white, and blue. Our country is divided between red and blue, right? So the red and the blue, red represents hardiness and valor. It stands for courage, strength, sacrifice, and for those who fought for our freedom. That's a really great thing, right? Like, without the red, you would not have change. But then you have the blue. And the blue represents vigilance, perseverance, and justice. Blue honors our commitment to justice, loyalty, and the enduring spirit that guides our nation forward. That's a great thing too. You need both red and blue. But there is a third color in the flag. And there's a third color in our country. Now, please hear me when I say this. I am not talking about race. I need to make sure. When I gave this talk at North, we actually had some people from other colors that were visiting us that day, and I was like, "Oh boy, I hope this goes well." And the whole talk, they're like, "Yep." So I knew I was on track when I had that kind of agreement, because there's always this concern that when we mention white, people immediately think color, or immediately think you're talking about race. And that's not what I'm talking about. The flag, interesting enough, some interesting facts. There are 13 red and white stripes. There are 50 stars. Every star is white. Every red stripe is separated by white. The blue field is filled with blue stars. The white is woven throughout the entire flag. Woven. Think about that. It's woven and making connection between the red and the blue. You need the white, right? And so in this situation, when we look at the colors between the red and the blue, we recognize that the white represents purity and innocence. It represents ideals of honesty, openness, and the pursuit of a perfect union. We have to celebrate the white. We are all red, white, and blue. And so what I wanted to do in the talk today is I wanted to talk a little bit about, let me first give a premise here, and that is that there are a lot of things that go in our unity movement, and I'm a big advocate of the unity movement. That's why I decided about 5 years ago that I was going to follow the ministerial path. Because unity, I believe, is more relevant today than it has ever been in our entire existence. Right? Because with unity, we talk about unity. We have to exemplify unity. We get to be unity. And in this time, in our culture, and our world, and our country, where division is everything, it's really interesting when with the discussions with Paul yesterday, and recognizing that the biggest problem that mankind is trying to overcome in the relationship with God is what? Not a trick question. Separation, right? It's a matter of how do I close that gap in separation with God? And yet, what are we doing as humans? We're creating more separation, right? Like, well, what tribe do you belong to? What part of town do you live in? What's your favorite team? All of those things are tricks that try to create a separation. And if you know anything about divide and conquer, it's necessary in order to minimize your person. So my point is that we have to be looking for ways that we unify our lives and unify ourselves. I'm not talking about giving up your beliefs as red. I'm not talking about giving up your beliefs as blue. What I'm saying is there are more ways that we are connected, and what we are looking for, what we're wanting in life is connection, not separation. But that is what I would say, that's the original sin, is that separation that separates us. So, I'm going to move forward here. So if we look at the words of Jesus, and we look at the Christ consciousness, he had gave us many examples here. I'm not going to, for the sake of time, I'm not going to read all of these, but gave us many examples of how we are connected, that we are one, right? Then if we go to, for those of us that are also followers or studiers in the Course of Miracles, we also see many ways that the Course is teaching us that we are one. When I attack you, I'm attacking myself. When I love you, I'm loving myself. Right? So I want to spend time on this. Okay? And this represents, is anybody familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs? Yeah, oh great, a lot of people. Okay. So if you take Maslow's hierarchy of needs and you break it down, we have basically, there are 10 ways that we all have something in common. The first thing, and these are not in a hierarchy, I thought of it as whereas Maslow's hierarchy is basically a pyramid, in my mind, it's I think they call it a decagon. It's what? There you go. Okay, what she said. But if you look at number 1, the need to be seen, heard, and valued. That is a need we all have. Not one of us does not have that need. How about the desire to be loved, to love and to be loved? We all have that same desire. How about the experience of pain and loss? Has anybody lost a family member? Yeah. We all go through grief, right? We all have had that happen. How about the quest for meaning and purpose? We all have that same need. The desire for safety and security. We want to live in a safe environment. We want security as it relates to not just financial security, but physical security. Then we have the capacity for joy and wonder. Joy and wonder. Yeah. How many of us just like to just go to the lake and sit, put our feet in the water, right? Or look up at the stars and wonder, see a shooting star and just wonder. And then we have the imperfection of being human. Well, there's something we all have in common. None of us are perfect. Hate to break your bubble, but none of us are perfect. The need for forgiveness and grace. We all have that need for grace. The hope for a better future? Absolutely. This is probably the biggest area that we all find commonality but also disagree on. We don't disagree. This is the point. We don't disagree on the fact that we need these things. We disagree on how do we get them, or how do we achieve them, or how do we maintain them. So we're looking for different ways. And then, of course, the final thing is the spirit within. At our center, I have one lady in particular who's an atheist that attends our center. She likes the community. She likes a message where we're trying to draw people together. So whether she realizes or not, what she's looking for is that connection. So this is our human experience. This is how each one of us have this thing that we want, these 10 things that we want. So where we disagree is how do we get them? So let's say my buddy Tom back there, I used his name. Tom and I might come from red and blue. We may come from opposite ends of the scale, right? But there may be one thing, just one thing, that we can agree on and have in common. And as I said in my bio, I love connecting with people in coffee shops and just learning their story, finding out what they're about. Tell me your story. Tell me what your life has been like. You can find connection there. The media, the world does not want us to be connected. They want us to be objectified. It's easy to objectify somebody. But when I learn your story, I'll give you a case in point. Years ago, when I was in the depths of my evangelical thinking, and we had the whole Proposition 8 thing, right? Gay marriage, all that kind of thing going on. Guess what? I had a falling out. I had a moral falling out. And I realized that I had an addiction. And that addiction was a sexual addiction, but it wasn't qualified, not that there's any levels of it, but it was a problem that I had in the way that I saw relationships. And so I had to go into recovery. I didn't have to. I chose to go into recovery because I was tired of living a life of lies and deception and all that sort of thing, right? So I went into recovery. And in my recovery groups, guess what? There are men in that recovery group struggling with homosexuality, struggling with their sexuality. And in the course of that recovery, I started learning their stories. I could no longer objectify someone because I saw a story there. I saw a brokenness. I saw a desire for love. And in that connection, I started seeing the whole thing differently. It wasn't because he was twisting my arms. It was because the thing that God created all of us with, is empathy and compassion, was activated by that person's story. And we did this group of guys that I was a part of, we did Half Dome in Yosemite. I lived in California, and we did Half Dome. That's a big thing. It's a 17-hour hike from the base camp all the way up and back again. It's not the up the face wall, but this is going up the backside, and it's a pretty grueling thing, which you think you're in shape for, but you're never in shape until you actually do it. But the bottom line was during that time, I don't remember the gentleman's name. I can see his face. We walked side by side up that climb. We saw things differently, but we had a common desire to make that climb, and that climb drew us closer together. I see him differently. I saw him differently, and my heart changed. And that for me was like kind of the unwinding of really, what have these belief systems brought me down into this place of separation and judgment? So if we go to this pattern here, we find a way to connect. And the way we do that, as I said, is learning and talking to one another, not objectifying one another. I said that we could have complete opposite ends of the spectrum from a political or even a spiritual, religious side. But there's going to be at least 50 things that we find that we can agree on, right? And that connection allows us to have relationship. Did you know that a cell like a human cell, has certain points of connection, right? There are proteins, somebody probably know this better than I do, but there are certain proteins in that cell that are common that allow the cells to attach to themselves. It's interesting. It is not the whole cell that attaches. There's certain places that those cells find attachment. My friends, there are certain places in our lives where we can find that attachment. We just have to put the labels down. We have to be able to see if we truly are connected, which I firmly believe we are, then what I judge you by, I'm judging myself. So if we take that and we break it out even more, maybe James and I connect one place and Julie and I collect at a different. But if I were to, I didn't take the time to go and break, start adding to that. But can you imagine if you start multiplying that and how we're connected? Now, there's red and blue in this room, I'm sure, because I have red and blue at our center, right? We have a fine connection in the way of having a spiritual life and having a connection with God, Christ consciousness, the divine, whatever it is that we want to, whatever label, we find a way to come together. So what is this? What is white? What does the white ask of us? What does the purity ask of us? The purity asks not instead of who's right, but asks what's true. What is truth? And I'm not talking about media, and I'm not talking about the facts, the data facts. I'm not talking about that kind of true. I'm talking about the most basic thing. What is true? God is love, and I'm a part of God. Jesus said, the two greatest commandments is love your neighbor and love the Lord God with all your heart, mind, and soul. T, capital T, truth. That's what it's all about. So when we talk about truth, we're not talking about the truth that extends beyond whatever the situation is. Let's get back to what's really true. You and I may differ on how we want security. So let's sit down and talk about it. You and I might see differently on how we view social programs. I had an interesting conversation with one of my people. I won't say who it was, but say more than that would give it away, and I don't want to do that. But we were talking, we were talking about a particular political hot point, and the difference was, he replied back with what the headline is, right? And I said, "Did you know da 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 da?" "No, I didn't know that." "Why not?" And it's not a question of like you're wrong. It's a matter of, do you really know what's going on? Do you really know? We had a situation just in the last couple of days where there was a family that is homeless. A father and two kids. He has a 15-year-old daughter, who at that age needs her mom, and a 9-year-old autistic son, living in a car that's broke down. The car gets towed, and now they're homeless. Now, it'd be very easy to be walking by and saying, well, there's a drug addict with his kids, loser, doesn't have a job. It'd be very easy to judge him that way. But you know what? At the time of his need, none of that mattered. What we saw was a father with two children that needed a home, that needed a place to live. And so we rallied around and we got him a hotel room for a couple of days until the temporary housing can come together, and got food for them and this, that, and the other. We got down into the messiness of that situation to really understand what's going on and not make a judgment about it. When you get to that level, there are no judgments. I have a second cousin who's biracial, and he came up with a clothing brand years ago. You know what the name of his clothing brand was? Pink Underneath. We're all pink underneath. That was his clothing brand. Very clever. And true. Yeah, he's in Oregon. I don't know if Ryan still has his business or not, but yeah. Anyway, so other things that the questions are, instead of who wins, what heals? What heals? Or how about, instead of how do I defeat you, how do we grow? What is it in this situation that we can use to grow, to help one another? Requires curiosity. I did pretty good not going through my notes, didn't I? I'm not leaving anything out, I promise. Here's what I want to ask you guys. So we get to a point where we have been in this divide, and the divide has been the questions we ask ourselves is, what do I need for security? What do I need for health? What do I need? What do I need? What do I need? What do I need? What do I need, right? The question is go and one step further than that. What do we need? Right? What do we need? The I is singular. It just simply causes me to focus on myself. The we requires me to lift my eyes up and look around to see who's around. What do we need? What do we have that what we need to stay alive and physically healthy? Do we feel safe enough to relax and plan a future? Do we know that we belong and that we are loved? Do we feel valued for who we are and what we contribute? Do we ask the question, who are we becoming? And how does our life bless the world? So this week, I want to challenge you. This week, when someone disagrees with you, I want you to pause and think of the white. Think of the purity. Think of the space. When you feel triggered, Facebook, triggered all the time, take a pause and breathe. Before responding online, pause. And what about this is about me? We do a lot of work in our center about working on healing our emotions, emotional triggers, our emotional health. Because quite honestly, if we can't do this right, this doesn't matter. If we can't figure out a way to get along, it doesn't matter. People don't leave church because they have a different opinion about God. They leave church because they have a problem with what somebody said to them, or the parking space somebody took, or the places, that really silly things. We've had people leave our center not because of they differ on the theology. They have a problem with this person and they don't know how to resolve it. And that's okay. Let's figure it out. In times of certainty, or instead of certainty, let's be curious. Let's press into the curiosity and ask questions. Instead of judgment, maybe there's a wonder. And how about this? Am I capable of doing the same thing? Is the same thing that's happening to that person something that can happen to me? And if so, what would be my response? How would I want somebody to help me? And instead of fear, how about presence? How about presence? How about stepping alongside? Or what would I need to move into this? But what do I need to step into this gap, into this place? I tell you my hope is that we get to a point that we don't identify with the red or the blue, that we identify with the white. We identify with the side of purity and love and curiosity. Yeah, you might have convictions that are more aligned with the blue side or with the red side. That's okay. But that's not the only color. And I hope that we become a community that stands in that gap, that stands for connection, that stands for the weaving of things together. Because I believe that's what unity can be. It's what unity has been, and that's what we can do to help move forward in all things. Thank you, my friends. Stay curious and be the blessing.
Thank you, Jeff. That was wonderful. So as we prepare for meditation, let's sing together. Music is the way I connect with spirit, the way I connect with other people. So let's sing together, Sacred Love. You are sacred love, sacred love is all that you are. You are sacred love, sacred love is all that you are. You are sacred love, sacred love is all that you are. You are sacred love, sacred love is all that you are. Show the way, God, show the way. I want to live in such a state of grace. Lead the way, God, lead the way. I want to live in such a holy place. Such a holy place. You are sacred love, sacred love is all that you are. You are sacred love, sacred love is all that you are. Sacred love is all that you are. Sacred love is all that you are.
Let's all just, where you're sitting, feel your feet on the floor. We all have that in common. We all have a chair with a strong back where we can feel ourselves rested. Let's all take a deep breath together, a collective breath together. Inhale. And exhale. In these times we know it's so easy to react. But it's the response as it really says who we are. Responding in joy, forgiveness, responding in mercy, responding in wonder, responding in curiosity, responding in love, acceptance, what if we look at a response not in the form of responding to someone else, but how do we respond in ourselves? We feel those fears, those triggers, those lies. How do we respond to that in ourselves? We are all connected. Divine light and love, God, Father, infinite being, higher power, presence, light. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for this center, for having a space to congregate, to collect, to love, to be community. Thank you for what we're able to give and what we're able to receive. And so it is.
Thank you for that respite. That was lovely. This next song is one that's been a favorite of mine since I was very young. And I'm sorry, but you have to hear it every year. Summertime, and the living is fish are jumping, and the cotton is high. Oh, your daddy's rich, and your mother's good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. One of these mornings, you're going to rise up singing. Then you'll spread your wings and you'll take to the sky. But till that morning, there is nothing can harm you. With Daddy and Mama standing I guess I will lead the offering. Hey, okay. So we have a statement here that we say when we have our offering, and it's just offering is just another wonderful way for us to connect with this center, and to know that this center takes what we give to it and spreads it out even farther and out into the community and the world. So our statement is, together please, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I receive. And as they pass the baskets, we are going to sing some more. This morning when I rose, y'all, I didn't have no doubt. Oh, this morning when I rose, y'all, I didn't have no doubt. Oh, this morning when I rose, y'all, I didn't have no doubt. For the Lord will take care of me. For the Lord will provide for me. For the Lord leads and guides me all the way, all the way. This morning when I rose, y'all, I didn't have no doubt. Oh, this morning when I rose, y'all, I didn't have no doubt. Oh, this morning when I rose, y'all, I didn't have no doubt. For the Lord will take care of me. For the Lord will provide for me. For the Lord leads and guides me all the way, all the way. No doubt, no doubt, I didn't have no doubt. Oh, no doubt, no doubt, I didn't have no doubt. No doubt, no doubt, I didn't have no doubt. For the Lord will take care of me. For the Lord will provide for me. For the Lord leads and guides me all the way, all the way. Oh, this morning when I rose, y'all, I didn't have no doubt. Oh, this morning when I rose, y'all, I didn't have no doubt. Oh, this morning when I rose, y'all, I didn't have no doubt. For the Lord will take care of me. For the Lord will provide for me. For the Lord leads and guides me all the way, 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 all the way. Okay, so we will pray over our offering, and we just say, thank you, God. Thank you, God, for all the blessings that we now receive in this very moment. And may we take these blessings, God, and spread them out into the world, into our families, into our communities, out around our beautiful, beloved planet Earth. Thank you, God, for all that you give to us. And this we say, amen. All right, we have a prayer for protection that we speak. Shall we speak it? No? Shall we do the prayer for protection first? Peace song first. Never mind. Let's please stand and join me in singing the peace song.
The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us.